Chair recognizes Mr. Evangelidis of Holden.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Through you to the members. I appreciate everyone coming down to hear about this amendment, and I will make my presentation relatively brief. I think we all understand we're here today to debate the importance of being fully represented at all times by our elected officials. That's why we're here, and that's why we're having this debate. Now, my amendment is very simple, and I'm going to read it again in case you did not hear the clerk read it, because it's really only one sentence, but essentially states that all federal, state, and county officials whose name appear in a special primary or special election ballot during the special election to fill a vacancy in Congress shall resign from their current elected position within 5 business days of being notified that they're a certified candidate by the Secretary of State. Plain and simple, if you decide, as you have every right to do, that you wish to run for an open seat in Congress or the U.S. Senate, you should resign your existing elected official, your seat. And I think we all recognize, as I said at the beginning, well, today we recognize you deserve full-time representation, and I think every one of us who's sitting in this room has done one thing. You've run a campaign and you've won. And if you win a campaign, you know that's 100% of your time and energy. It's a full-time job. And what we provide for, in the legislative session is that we recess, as you know we will do next year, we will recess in August to basically go out and have a session for campaigning. So we're not missing roll call votes. So we're not missing important things that are going on legislatively. We have that recess for the very reason that campaigning is a separate issue than our general job. Now, we all know by virtue of the fact that we have a special election, by pure definition, it is not at the end of a term. It is in the middle of a term. And that means that you are currently, if you're an elected official, you are serving in a capacity that the voters of either Massachusetts or your district have entrusted you to give 100% of your time and energy. And simply this amendment says, if you choose to say to the people that you represent, I love this job, but I have higher ambitions and I wish to run for a higher congressional office, good for you. And that is wonderful, and I laud you for your enthusiasm and your willingness to try to influence the legislature and the federal government. But at the same time, you owe it to the constituents you have to say that's a full-time job. There is no way, for example, that this election for U.S. Senate is not a full-time job. I don't know how anyone could run for this seat and not recognize the fact that they're going to be derelict in their responsibilities to their constituents for a period of time. And I think it would be a good law to pass to simply mandate it, to take away that difficult decision and that unfairness to the constituents that we represent. And the reason we're here today, to make sure that people are fully represented at all times. Therefore, this amendment simply will mandate that if you run for this higher office, you will resign your seat so the people of that particular district or state office can be fully represented at all times. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. No, thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I ask the amendment be adopted.